It's Mathman to the rescue! I have come from another dimension to teach you how to unfoil, or as we call it on my planet, factoring. Woo! Yes, we're getting bored, so keeping you entertained. Mathman to the rescue! Alright, so we learned about foil, but today we're going to unfoil. And unfoil is called factoring. Factoring means to take apart. Break it into multiplying pieces. In other words, you may remember, like if I said 24 and you said factor it, you would go like this. You kind of go, well, that's like 6 times 4. See who broke it into multiplying pieces. Of course, you could factor this part, couldn't you? 2 times 2. Now you factored it into a 6, a 2, and 2. These are factors because 6 times 2 is 24. But we're going to do it with foiling. Okay, so here's what we had before. And I have my assistant. I am the wise grasshopper. I am Gregory the grasshopper. And I'm going to help you foil and undo this problem as factoring. Let me grab my pen. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not left-handed. I think I need the human to write, but I will tell him what to do. See you in a little bit. Okay, so what do we do, Greg? First, I want you to foil. Okay, so what we did before is we foiled this. Let me remember, what did I do? We would take the first piece, the left would make the left. And the right, see it's on the right side of the problem. This is his right piece of hair. Okay, that's the right. I should have wrote that in. There's the right. Here's the left. Okay. ROTC people should be good at this. Left, right, left, right. Okay, here's the right. 3 times 4, 12. Put away over here. And then now we got to do the middle. Okay, I change the colors each time, but let's see, what was the middle? Draw a smile and draw his chin. Okay, go and draw his body. There you can. Whee! There he is, right? Okay, there's the rest of his body and his tongue and all that stuff. You know, okay. There's his eyes, there's his ears, there's his nose. Okay, so 3x and 4x, what does that add up to? What is 3 times x and 4 times x? That's 3x and 4x, that's 7x. Okay, so that was foil, and yay, we're done. I think I had green in the middle yesterday. But now, can you go backwards? That is the big challenge. Okay, go backwards. Teacher's going to show you all these crazy methods like draw a box. What do I put in the box? And there's a diamond method. You know, just Charlie Brown it backwards. So what are you going to do? It's so easy. You see 3 parts, don't you? It's in order, x squared, x and this. Draw your 2 parentheses. There you go. There's your 2 parentheses. Okay? This is on the left, isn't it? It's the first piece. It's on the left. So that's the left hair. It's on the left. It's the left pieces. It's the first pieces. What times what is x squared? Well, x times x. Hey, you're halfway done. I see students do all these crazy methods of trying to figure this out. They get all complicated and they're writing all this stuff. When you get good at this, you can do it in your head. Just look at it and go, oh, I know what the answer is. You can just pull it in here, look at it and go, I'll just tell you the answer. Okay, so that was the left. This is on the right. Okay, so remember, this was the left. Okay, now we're going to do the right. This is on the right. So these are the numbers on the right. Right here. And now, there's not a magical way to know exactly what goes here. This is where you guess. Yes, guessing is the fastest way to get the answer. You have to go, what times what is 12? Think of all the possibilities that can make 12. It could be 6 times 2. It could be 3 times 4. It could be 1 times 12. I could even do something weird like a half times 24, but we don't want to use fractions or decimals. Okay, so we have 3 possibilities. Now you have to guess which one goes in there. But how do I guess which one? Well, as you look at these, somehow you got to get 7. When you make the middle of his face, the 2 numbers need to make 7. So you guess. Do you think it's 6 and 2? And now notice this is positive and this is positive. So it's got to be positive times positive. If I saw a negative, I would sneak a negative in here. Now, does that work? Now some people just put it like, does it work? Did you check? Does the bottom of a space, the middle of a space make the middle? 6 and 2. 6x, 2x. Is that 7? No. Oh no. Yes, it's a guessing method, but as you get better, you'll be able to guess super fast. Okay. What if you tried 1 and 12? 1 and 12. Well, that'd be great if it said 13. So that's out. So the last choice, 3 and 4. Let's put in 3 times 4, positive, positive. 3 times 4 is 12. But when you check this part, 3 times x, 4 times x, 3 and 4 makes 7. It has to make the middle. I see people just put random numbers there like, why are you doing that? That doesn't make sense. Like if I said, what times what is 48? And you said, well, I'll just put 15 times 59, right? Would you just, if I said, what times what's 48? Would you just make up something like that? No, you would check it. So does it work? 3 and 4 makes 7? Yeah, and that was the answer. And it doesn't really matter which group you put first. Some people might have put x plus 4, then x plus 3. That's still the same. That's the same. That's like if somebody says 6 times 2 is 12, and someone says 2 times 6. Well, that's the same thing. So there it is. Let's try another one backwards. Okay, here you go. Here's 2 problems. Do you remember what they are? They're almost the same, aren't they? They both have 12. Both have x squared, but they have different middles. Do you remember what went there? What are we going to put first? X squared, x times x. X squared, x times x. Okay, what's the last piece? 12. 12. Okay, what times what is 12? It could be 2 times 6. It could be 3 times 4. It could be 1 times 12, right? Which one's going to make 8? Which one's going to make 13? And you should be going 8, 6, and 2, because you're adding them. Positive 2 times positive 6. Or I could have put the 6 here and the 2 there. When you check the middle, I'll go back to green for the middle. 2, 6. 2x, 6x makes 8x. You got it. Over here, what should we pick? How about 12 times 1? Okay, I know I did it in green this time. 12 times 1. Because when you check, 12 and 1 more makes 13. Ta-da! Okay. Okay, here's the next 2. Each time we get a little more complicated. These can get crazy complicated, but we're going to stick simple. I could have things like x to the 4th, x to the 3rd, x to the square. There could be 5 terms, but we're not dealing with that yet. That gets more advanced. That's like math 3 or something. Okay, so check these out. What do? You see x squared, x and that. You see your trinomial. Make your parentheses. Can you figure them out? Go ahead and pause the video, see if you can get them. All right, welcome back. This is what I say, Charlie Brown method. If you know Charlie Brown, it's great. And you might notice here, did I even draw a Charlie Brown? No, I never even bothered drawing this part, did I? Just to save myself time. I didn't even draw the top of his head because I know it works. Okay, x squared, x times x. If you want to draw the hair, you can, but you don't need to. Okay, what do we got over here? 35. 5 times 7. 7, 5 is the same thing. Or 1 times 35. Always remember 1 can be used. What's going to make negative 12? Negative 12. How are we going to do that? Okay, so let's see. You're probably going, well, 1 and 35 is 5 and 7 adds up to 12, doesn't it? But I need a negative. How about a negative and a negative? Minus 5x minus 7x. A negative and a negative makes negative. I should do that in green. I'm sorry, I should do it in green to make the colors match. That is negative 12. And does it still work here? A negative times a negative is a positive. So when you see these are positive, aren't they? If it's positive, everybody's positive. If you see a negative in the middle, but he's positive, you're going to have a negative times a negative because that still makes the positive. And that's our answer. Okay, here it is again. You see the same thing. You could fill these in quick, x and x. I see a positive over here, but this is negative. So I'm going to go a negative times a negative makes a positive. I'm choosing negative so I can get a negative 13. What should we use? Well, oh, we got 30. Oh, that's not 35. That's 30. How about, do you want to try 6 times 5? Does that make 13? No. You want to do 15 times 2? You want to do 3 times 10? You want to do 1 times 30? See, you have to guess. And you should pick what? 10 times 3. Because when you check this, minus 10, oops, we just ran out of green. Minus 3 makes minus 13. So you got to check it. These are your two pieces. We could have switched them around, but we got the two pieces. Okay, here's two more. Notice I have negatives over here. Okay, parentheses. Okay, pause the video. Can you figure it out? X squared, X, whoops, X. Okay, we got that. Those are the X squareds. Okay, let's look at the right. Negative 40. Wait, this is negative. That means I need a positive times a negative, don't I? Same over here. Positive times a negative. Now you go through all the possibilities. You think of all the things. What times what is 40? 8 times 5, 4 times 10, 2 times 20, 1 times 40. I'm not sure if I got them all. What's going to make 3? But be careful. There's an add and a subtract. You're not adding these up. When you do the middle part, somebody's added and somebody's subtract. It matters which number you put where now. Who's positive, which negative? Here's what I'm going to think about. I need more positives. Let's make the bigger number positive. What works? Will 40 take away 1 make 3? How about 8 and 5? But what's going to go where? Let's go where? I'm going to put it like this. Because positive 8 minus 5, 8 minus 5 is positive 3. If this were a negative, we would need the negative on the 8 and the positive over here. Okay, so here's another one. You figure it out. Pause the video. I get 6. 9 times 3, 1 times 27. Well, this is pretty obvious. It's going to be 9 and 3. How about positive 9 minus 3? Because 9 take away 3 is 6. There you go. Okay. Okay, some different ones. And just remember, I'm going to do something here for a moment. What if this were negative? Well, you would need this to be negative and this to be positive, because you'd want 3x minus 9x. 3 minus 9 would be negative 6. So make sure it works. Use a negative. So here's a little summary we saw. If it's all positive, it's all positive. If he's positive, but you need a negative in the middle, a negative times a negative makes a positive. So if the last parts are positive, they're the same. But if it ends in a negative, you get one of each. Makes it trickier. Okay, special case. Here we are. Did Mr. Newell forget to write the question? No, he didn't forget. I know how to do this one. We call this a perfect square. Let's put our numbers in, our letters, x, 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 x. The reason there's no middle, you'll see in just a moment. This is the right because, see, that's an x. He's just a plain old number. 7 times 7. There's also 1 and 49, but you know what? This is a negative. Positive times negative. How about 7 times 7? Because these are opposites or conjugates, 7 minus 7. What's 7 take away 7? That's 0. There's no middle. Yeah, this guy's a perfect. So some people go, hey, that's a square. That's like the square root. The square root. Yeah, this would be, what would I go with? 8 times 8. Yeah, plus 8, minus 8. Okay, because 8 minus 8 is nothing in the middle. Okay, let's slowly get more advanced. I've got, this is a b, 8ab, b squared. Don't let that scare you. Just do it like you always do. Just go a squared, a times a. Ooh, all positive. My favorite, positive, positive. And there's a b here. That doesn't matter. How about 5 times 3 or 1 times 15? Who's going to give me 8? You're like, 5 times 3. Okay. 5 and 3. Wait, how do I get the b squared here? There's a b squared. Like that. B times b is b squared. 5b, 3b, b squared. Does it make the middle? 5ba. Do alphabet order. alphabetical, AB, apple, banana. Here's 3, and a B and an A. Put alphabetical order, AB. 3 apple bananas plus 5 apple bananas is 8 apple bananas. Ta-da! That wasn't that bad. Now, give you the hard one. What do you mean? This is a difficult one. Here it comes. 10x squared plus 19x plus 6. This is where people that are trying this diamond method, if your teacher shows you the diamond method, you're just going to go crazy. Because then they go like this. Well, now you need 6 parts. 6, why do you do it? Forget this. This is the failure method. Charlie Brown it. Much harder to guess now. Much, much harder to guess. Okay? And this one makes it kind of a puzzle. But when you get good, you can do a lot of it in your head. Okay, so we start over here. 10x squared. Oh, wait a minute. X times x isn't 10. Now I got to guess. I might guess right. I might guess wrong. Should I do 5 times 2 or 10 times 1? I have no idea. So I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to do 5 times 2. I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter which one I put where, but this will matter over here. This totally matters. Okay, 6. Do you want to do 6 times 1 or 2 times 3? Some people just throw the number here. Well, I'll just put in like 2 and 3 or 3 and 2. It matters. Okay, and you go, wait, 19. Neither one of these makes 2 and 3 doesn't make 19. 6 and 1 make it. And don't use fractions, don't use decimals. You're like, well, it's impossible. No, it totally works. What do you mean it totally works? Okay, first of all, positive, positive. Whatever you put here is going to get doubled. Whatever you put here is going to get times by 5. So now you guess. Let's say you try 1 and 6. That's 2x. And 6 times 5 is 30x. No, okay. Start over. What if you switch them? It matters now. Here's what I mean. 6 and 1. 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 5 is 5. That's 17. Oh, close. Okay, but it didn't work. Oh, so it's kind of a guessing game, a little puzzle. This is out. 2 and 3. What if we try 3 and 2? There's no reason to put down an answer and go, I wonder if it's right. Check. 3 times 2 is 6. Notice all I have to do is check the bottom of his face. I don't even bother drawing his hair anymore. 3 times 2 is positive 6. 2 times 5 is 10. 6 and 10. Oh, see? It matters. Okay, final guess. We're going to put the 2 here and the 3 here. 2 times 2 is 4x. 3 times 5, 15x. 4 and 15. Oh my God, it's so much work. Yes, on the worksheet, you're going to see, when you get to the harder ones, you're going to see some of these. No looking at the answers and go, well, I'm just going to do the answers to figure out which one works. I'm going to go 10 and 6, all this stuff. No. Because on the test, it won't let you do that. You can't do it. So that's a hard one. That takes the big challenge. Let me give you another one, see if you got it down. And you always are practicing these. Sometimes you'll get one and you just get totally stuck. You're like, I can't figure it out. But we'll give you ones that there is a way. Next week, I'll show you a trick of, what if you can't figure it out? Well, someone figured out a super duper formula that solves it. I'll tell you about that next week. Okay, can you try this one? Pause the video. All right, welcome back. Let's see, what do we got? 15. Taking my guess. I'm going to guess 5 times 3. I could be wrong. It could be 15 times 1. Like up here, if I kept trying stuff and I couldn't get to work and I went through all the possibilities, maybe this was 10 and 1. But luckily, we got it, right? We got the 2 pieces. And by the way, it doesn't, if somebody said, I wrote 2x plus 3 and 5x plus 2, isn't that the same thing? It's still got this piece and this piece. That's still okay. Okay, so here we go. 2. Well, 1 times 2. That's all I can think of. Okay, where are you going to put them? Where are you going to put them? I'm not sure. So I got lots of fingers to figure this out. Do my calculation, and I have come up with, oh, there's a negative. 2 here and 1 here. Notice I have plus 1 in here, plus 1x. Let's make the bigger guys positive. Here's 6. Here's 5. What are you going to do to get 1? How about 6 minus 5? So make this negative, negative 5, make this positive. Because if it's negative, you have a positive times a negative. So let's make sure it still works. Is everything else good? 2 times negative 1, negative 2. 5 times 3, 15. You got it. There's your 2 pieces. More challenge. Okay, a little bit more about factoring. Remember, it means break apart, undistribute, make parentheses. How about just a simple thing like this? You go, hey, this doesn't even have a square. Could you just undistribute? Like, what number goes into 3 and 6? You say, well, how about 3? Could you just, this used to be this, 3x, 3 times 2. You kind of go, what could I divide out of these? Like, well, 3 goes into them. Pull the 3 out and go 3x plus 3 times 2 with a y. Sometimes you take a number out. Sometimes they don't have a number. But what do they all? They all have a letter N. I've got 4. I've got 3. I've only got 1. Let's take one of them out. Take out a letter. What's left? I stole one of your N's. I still got 3 more. I stole one of your N's. I still got 2 more. And I stole all of your N's. You got to put something there. 1. N times 1 is N. So you can take out a number or a letter. So what about this? Number. What goes into 2 and into 8 and into 10? We could take out a 2. What are you left with? 2 times what? 4x. 2 times negative y. I know. 2 times y, negative 2y. 2 times 5 is 10. You might need to practice that. We did it kind of a long time ago. Here, a 3 goes into those. And take out some x's. I've got 5 x's. I only have 2. Take out as much as you can. You can't take more than 2 because all he has is 2. Take out as much as the little guy. Like I say, hey, everybody donate something. I can give you 2. Okay, let's be fair. We'll take out 2. So he's got 3 times 2 to make 6. And I took 2 of his 5. I still have 3 left over. Plus 3 times 5. And I took all of your x's, so that's all you got. Okay, so there's a few more like x to the 7. That was what? You're like, could have been x to the 4. And let's go to the next page. Okay, so I could give you a gigantic thing. Go, what do we got? 5, 10, 15, 12. Oh, take out a 5. Oh, how about a letter? I don't have any letters. Okay, we take out the 5 and just go 5x cubed, 5 times 2, 5 times 3, 5 times 4. The letters change the same. Sometimes you say, let's get a little fancier. Ignore the equal 0. I took out a 4. Let's go to another page. Okay, we'll save some of that for next week. Okay, so here comes the first. Remember, this was a 2-day lesson. It's more challenging. I'm supposed to take this into parentheses? Mm-hmm. First of all, I don't see 3 things. But believe me, this final answer is going to have 1, 2, actually 3 parentheses. So first thing you do, always see if you can take out a number or a letter or both. You go, well, wait, 10 and 90. You go, why am I not doing the FOIL thing? Well, where's the x squared? You don't have an x squared. So let's undistribute first. You go 10 and 9. Let's take out a 10. And look, we both have x's. Let's take out an x. So that leaves me with x squared. 10x, x squared. That's x cubed. Minus 10 times 9. And I took your x. Does that work? X and 2 more makes 3. X, remember, x cubed means x, x, x. You learned all about exponents in the past. And here's 9 times 10, 90x. But are you done? No, we've got this. But what about this? That breaks apart, doesn't it? What does that break into? You go x squared. Oh, x times x. Wait, there's no middle. Oh, it's one of those opposites. 9. 3 times 3 is 9. You get a negative? A positive times a negative. How come there's no middle? Because we're opposites. This is this. You've taken this and turned it into 3 little baby problems. This becomes a big deal because next week I'm going to throw an equals on it and have you solve for x. I'm going to go, what's x equal to? You go, what? Because it's a 3, there's actually 3 answers to the problem. And the only way to get the 3 answers, you break it into 3 baby problems and solve each problem. Remember we did this a long time ago in Math 1, first semester? If we can take that into 3 little problems, you could say, what minus 3 is 0? 3. What plus 3 is 0? Negative 3. 10 times what is 0? 0. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 answers to this problem. I'm going to have you do that next week. We're going to solve these guys. But if you can't factor them, how are you going to solve them? Okay, let's give you another one like this. Okay, so I'm going to give you a big challenge. This is like way beyond Math 1. That's all right. You do it in Math 2. If I put an equals out here, yeah, you could solve it, but let's just break it apart. And you're like, what? This is so crazy. Make the problem simpler. Is there a number that goes into them? They're all even. And look, they all have the same letter. He has 2, he has 3, he has 4. We can take out 2. Can't take out any more than 2 because he only has 2. So we are going to take out x squared. And what about the numbers? You can take out a 2, but you could even take out a 4. Take out the biggest amount you can. Now see what's left. 4 times 3. I took 2 of your 4. So there's 2. Remember x squared, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 4 times what's 68? It's 17. You could use a calculator. I took 2 of your 3. So that's x. Remember like adding exponents? 1, 2, 3. Plus 4 times the 10. And I took all of your x's. So if you were to distribute this, if you went whoop, 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 you would get this. That's factoring. You might say, yay, I factored it. But are you done? This comes right down, 4x squared. Some people forget the parentheses, but you should. Now you get to factor this guy. You think you can do it? Oh, man. Let's see. What should we go with? Just ignore this part. 3x squared. All I can think is 3x times x. Okay, now you do the last part. What are you going to use? Okay, go ahead and pause the video, see if you can get to the end. All right, welcome back. 10, 5 times 2, 1 times 10. And what about the signs? Positive, you might start going, positive, positive, wait a minute. This part's negative. We need a negative times a negative to make a positive. So now you have to guess, and it matters who goes where. Because whatever you put here, gets 3. Whatever you put here only gets 1. It's got to make 17. Take your guesses. 2 and 5, 5 and 2. 1 and 10, 10 and 1. Pause it if you want. I found out after much trial and error was 2 and 5. I'm not even writing in the other hair because I already know the other hair works. I already know that a negative times a negative is a positive 10. And I already know that 3 times x is 3x squared. So like Charlie Brown method is the best method. Show your friends next year. They're going, how are you doing it so quick? I'm like, I'm Charlie Brown in it. Does this work? Minus 2x. And this part, minus 15x. Always check his smile and his chin. 2 and negative 15, negative 17. Bam, you got it. And if this question said equals 0, you would never guess what would work in there. And there could be 4 answers. Some of them could be imaginary. What? Okay, that's another thing. You would do this problem, and this problem, and this problem has 2 answers. The answers would have been 5, and this would have been 3x minus 2 is 0 would be positive 2 over 3. We'll do that next week. And this would have been 0 and 0 again. It's kind of funny. You have 0, 0, 2/3, and 5. But that's if you had the equal 0. All you do is you stop right there. Okay, here's the question for you to get credit. You want to get credit for this? I'm going to give you one question, and I'm going to tell you how to type the answer in. All right, here's how you're going to get credit, the homework video credit. Here's your problem. Factor me. Okay, there's your big problem. 15x squared minus 7x minus 4. It breaks into 2 things. Which 2 on this list are the correct 2 factors? Well, I know what they are. Do you? So type in your two letters. Like if you think it's F and G, then you would type F and G in the box. You would type in F and G. I don't know if that's it. I don't think it is. Could be. Is it A and B? Is it A and C? Is it C and D? Is it D and H? I don't know. So you factor it up and pick it on this list. That's what you do. You get 2 days to get this done. Do all the worksheets. And remember, when you do the worksheets, do the problems. No looking at the answers and trying to foil all these to figure out what worked backwards. And on Friday, we have our test, and I'll also do a little review that day. All right, have fun. Goodbye.